Are foldable phones finally about to go mainstream in a big way? Because Samsung is getting ready to drop a new foldable that looks like a direct response to one device everyone is waiting for: Apple's first iPhone Fold. According to the latest reports, Samsung is preparing the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, with a release window targeted for August 2026. And if the leaks hold up, this isn't just another yearly refresh. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is being positioned as a bigger, more productivity-focused foldable, built to win over people who love the idea of a folding phone but still want a wider, more tablet-like experience when the device is open. So in this video, we're going to break down everything we know so far about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide. The breakthrough display setup, the wide form factor and what it means in real life, Samsung's ambitious production plan, why the launch timing matters, and how this sets up a head-to-head battle with the iPhone Fold in 2026. If you're thinking about upgrading to a foldable phone in 2026, or you've been waiting for foldables to finally feel mature, this is the one to watch. Let's start with the biggest reason the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is getting so much attention: the display. At the center of the Fold 8 Wide is a 7.6-inch internal screen with a 4:3 aspect ratio. That aspect ratio is important because it signals Samsung is leaning harder into the mini tablet experience. More room vertically and horizontally for real multitasking, split-screen apps, editing, and reading. If you've ever used a foldable and felt like the inner display was still a little too narrow for some apps, the wide approach is Samsung's way of solving that. And then you've got the outer display, a 5.4-inch external screen designed for quick, everyday actions: checking notifications, replying to messages, answering calls, scanning your calendar, controlling music, and doing those fast interactions without fully opening the phone. This dual display concept is what makes a Galaxy Z Fold device unique, but Samsung's goal with the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide seems to be making both screens feel more natural: the inside for work and entertainment, the outside for speed and convenience. Now let's talk about the part Samsung always claims, and this time it actually matters more than ever: display quality and durability. Samsung's foldables have been getting better every year in brightness, color accuracy, refresh rate smoothness, and crease management. With the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, the expectation is that Samsung will push display refinement even further because the competition in 2026 won't just be other Android foldables. It'll be Apple. And when Apple enters a category, public expectations shift. People who never considered a foldable suddenly start comparing build quality, long-term durability, and day-to-day usability. So Samsung can't just make the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide look good on a spec sheet. It has to feel premium, reliable, and confidently built for daily use. That's why this wide model is such a big deal. It's not just about being bigger. It's about making the foldable experience feel more normal, more practical, and more like something you can use as your only phone. Now here, where the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide gets even more interesting: Samsung's production plan. Reports suggest Samsung is aiming to produce 1 million units of the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide, which would be the highest production volume Samsung has ever targeted for a special edition foldable device. And that number tells you everything about Samsung's mindset going into 2026. This isn't a tiny experiment. It's not a limited run just for hardcore fans. A 1 million unit plan is Samsung signaling confidence that foldable demand is rising, confidence that the category is expanding, and confidence that they can sell a premium foldable at meaningful scale. And if Samsung actually hits that level of production, it also gives them an advantage in availability. One of the biggest frustrations with certain niche devices is that they're hard to find, limited by region, or constantly out of stock. Samsung wants the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide to feel like a real flagship option you can actually buy. But the bigger story is what launches alongside it. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is expected to release next to the Galaxy Z Fold 8 and the Galaxy Z Flip 8, expanding Samsung's foldable lineup in a major way. By 2026, Samsung is aiming for multiple foldable formats that cover different lifestyles and budgets, meaning instead of "do you want a foldable, yes or no?" the question becomes, which foldable fits you? That's how categories go mainstream, not with one perfect device but with a lineup that makes sense for different types of users. If you want compact and stylish, that's where the Galaxy Z Flip 8 comes in. If you want classic fold power, that's the Galaxy Z Fold 8. And if you want the bigger, wider productivity-first experience, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide becomes the standout option. Samsung is building a portfolio, not just a phone. Now let's talk about why the timing is so strategic. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide is expected to land in August 2026, right around the time many expect Apple to finally make its move with the iPhone Fold. And whether you're Team Android or Team iPhone, you have to admit, an Apple foldable launch would be one of the biggest smartphone moments in years. It would pull millions of people into the conversation who have ignored foldables until now. That's why Samsung wide move matters, because Samsung doesn't just want to stay ahead in foldables, they want to own the narrative when Apple enters. So how does Samsung compete with an iPhone Fold? It's going to come down to user experience, apps, and ecosystem integration. One major battleground is cross-platform behavior, how well content, messaging, media, and apps fit into the way people actually live. In the real world, a lot of users exist in mixed ecosystems. Maybe you use Windows at work, an iPad at home, Google services everywhere, and you message friends who are locked into iMessage. Foldables don't win purely on hardware anymore, they win on friction. That's where Samsung has to be aggressive. Make multitasking feel effortless. Make app layouts feel optimized and made for foldables. Make the transition from cover screen to main screen feel instant and smooth. And make the entire experience feel stable, not experimental. Because if Apple's iPhone Fold launches with a polished first generation, it just works reputation, Samsung needs the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide to feel just as refined, while offering advantages Apple can't match like deeper multitasking, flexible windowing, and a more open workflow for power users. And if Samsung can make the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide the best foldable for productivity, email, documents, split screen, creative work, and media, then they're not just competing with an iPhone Fold. They're giving people a reason to choose Samsung even if they were considering switching. Now zoom out for a second, because the foldable phone market in 2026 is expected to look very different than it does today. Foldables have already moved past the cool demo stage. The big question now is scale and value. Are foldables durable enough, useful enough, and practical enough to become a normal upgrade choice? And this is where devices like the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Wide become market-shaping products. Because when you improve display usability, increase production volume, and offer more formats in your lineup, you lower the barriers for mainstream buyers. It becomes easier to justify the switch, easier to find the right model, and easier to trust the category long-term. And Samsung isn't alone. Other foldables like the Pixel Fold and OnePlus Open have also pushed the market forward. But Samsung's advantage has always been a combination of experience and scale. Samsung has the supply chain, the manufacturing capacity, and the display leadership to push foldables faster than anyone else. That's why a 1 million unit plan matters so much. It's Samsung saying foldables aren't a side project anymore. And if Apple enters at the same time, the entire category accelerates. Competition forces faster improvements, better pricing strategies, better software optimization, and ultimately better products for users.